In William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, the title character occupies a paradoxical position. He is both the central figure and, in terms of stage time, a relatively peripheral presence. Caesar is assassinated midway through the play, yet his influence looms over every scene that follows. Through Caesar, Shakespeare explores themes of power, ambition, loyalty, and mortality, shaping him into both a historical figure of stature and a symbol of the dangers and allure of absolute authority. Role in a narrative. When the play opens, Caesar has returned to Rome triumphant after defeating Pompey, his former ally in the First Triumvirate. His military victories have elevated him to unprecedented power, and the Roman people celebrate him as a hero. However, this adulation triggers unease among the senators, particularly Cassius, who fears that Caesar's growing influence threatens the Republic's democratic ideals. Caesar himself appears in only 3 of the play's 5 acts, but every major event revolves around his figure. His presence dominates the thoughts of the conspirators, whose plotting defines the dramatic structure of the first half. In the second half, after his assassination, his spirit, both literal and symbolic, continues to shape the fates of Brutus, Cassius, and the entire Roman state. As Antony later declares in his funeral oration, the evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. In Caesar's case, both his perceived ambition and his enduring reputation live on, influencing the course of Roman history long after his death. Caesar's murder marks the play's turning point, dividing the drama into 2 distinct movements: the moral crisis leading up to his assassination and the political chaos that follows. Before his death, Caesar was the object of fear and admiration. Afterward, he became a symbol that others manipulated for their own ends. Brutus kills Caesar in the name of liberty, believing he is saving Rome from tyranny. Antony, in contrast, uses Caesar's corpse and his name to incite the people to rebellion and vengeance. In both cases, Caesar is central, yet powerless, a man transformed into an idea. Despite his mythic aura, Shakespeare's Caesar is not portrayed as a simple tyrant or villain. Instead, he is a man of contradictions, physically frail yet politically dominant, ambitious yet superstitious, confident yet vulnerable. Caesar's ambition is perhaps his defining trait, but Shakespeare presents it ambiguously. His critics, especially Cassius, see him as a threat to freedom, a man who doth bestride the narrow world, like a colossus. Cassius resents Caesar's ascent, arguing that a single man should not rule Rome. Yet Caesar's own words often suggest that he sees himself as a protector of order, not a usurper. Caesar's human weaknesses further complicate his image. He has deafness in one ear, experiences epileptic seizures, and exhibits superstition. These vulnerabilities make him more relatable, but they also contrast sharply with his public image of invincibility. His pride ultimately closes his eyes to the danger that surrounds him. Ignoring Calpurnia's prophetic dream and the soothsayer's warning, Caesar declares, "Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once." This line epitomizes his fatal flaw, hubris. His belief in his own immortality leads him to dismiss every sign of impending doom. Symbolic significance. Symbolically, Caesar represents more than a man. He is an embodiment of Rome itself and of the idea of power that both sustains and corrupts the state. Before his assassination, Caesar was the living symbol of ambition, monarchy, and centralized authority, the antithesis of republican virtue. To Brutus and the conspirators, killing him is not merely an act of political rebellion, but a moral duty to preserve the liberty of Rome. Brutus insists that he loves Caesar, but he loves Rome more, believing that Caesar's ambition will enslave the people. In this sense, Caesar symbolizes the tension between personal loyalty and civic responsibility, a conflict that defines Brutus's tragedy. After his death, however, Caesar became a symbol of martyrdom and divine retribution, his ghost haunting Brutus, and his name invoked by Antony. "O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low, both elevate him to a quasi-religious status. The shift from man to myth mirrors the transformation of Rome from republic to empire. In death, Caesar achieves the godlike power he sought in life. His spirit outlives the conspirators, proving Cassius's prophecy true. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over, in states unborn and accents yet unknown? Indeed, Shakespeare's own play is part of that prophecy's fulfillment. Caesar also symbolizes the fragility of human greatness. His murder, carried out in the Senate by men he trusted, exposes the precariousness of authority based on pride and fear. His famous line, "Et tu, brute? Then fall, Caesar," crystallizes his downfall, not just the physical act of dying, but the emotional devastation of betrayal by his closest ally. In that moment, Caesar becomes both victim and warning, a reminder that even the most powerful are not immune to the treachery of ambition. Broader implications. Beyond its immediate narrative, Caesar's characterization carries profound political implications. Written during the Elizabethan era, Julius Caesar reflects contemporary anxieties about leadership, legitimacy, and the dangers of absolute power. Elizabeth I, aging and childless, ruled a nation uncertain about its succession. By dramatizing the fall of a powerful ruler and the ensuing chaos, Shakespeare engages with questions that resonated deeply with his audience. What makes a ruler legitimate? When, if ever, is rebellion justified? Caesar's fate warns against both extremes: the tyranny of a single ruler and the instability of a fractured republic. His death does not restore freedom. Instead, it unleashes anarchy and civil war, culminating in the rise of another autocrat, Octavius. Thus, Shakespeare suggests that the assassination, meant to save the state, only hastens its destruction. Caesar's spirit, in a sense, is resurrected in Octavius, whose triumph at Philippi marks the birth of the Roman Empire. The implication is clear. Once ambition and violence enter the political sphere, they become self-perpetuating forces. Furthermore, Caesar's transformation from man to myth reflects a timeless truth about power and the enduring nature of memory. Leaders may die, but their legacies, constructed through fear, reverence, and manipulation, endure. The conspirators kill Caesar's body, but not his idea. Antony's oration ensures that Caesar's name becomes immortal, shaping the destiny of Rome and symbolizing the enduring cycle of power, corruption, and rebellion. Conclusion. Julius Caesar, though dead halfway through Shakespeare's play, remains its most commanding presence. He is at once a flawed human being and a monumental symbol, embodying the dual nature of political power, its grandeur and its peril. Caesar's story is not only about one man's fall, but about the eternal struggle between liberty and authority, idealism and pragmatism, the individual and the state. In the end, Caesar's legacy transcends the stage, reminding us that power, once seized, can never truly be slain. It only changes form.